The door creaked open just as I yanked off my sweat-soaked jersey, my heart pounding from the brutal practice. There stood Coach Harlan, his broad frame filling the doorway, eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that froze me mid-motion. In that split second, he stepped inside, closed the door behind him, and leaned in close enough for his breath to brush my ear, whispering words that shattered my world. "I've been watching you. Alex, not just on the field. My name is Alex Thompson, and at 18, I was the star quarterback of Elmwood High in rural Ohio, the kind of town where Friday night lights were religion and secrets could bury you alive." That whisper from Coach Mark Harlan, the man who'd turned our losing team into state contenders, hit me like a blindside tackle. I'd always admired him, 35 years old, built like a fortress from his college football days, with a voice that commanded respect and eyes that seemed to see right through the facade I wore every day. Practice had ended late that autumn evening in 2024, the air crisp with falling leaves and the promise of playoffs. The locker room was empty, my teammates already showered and gone, chasing burgers or girls at the local diner. I lingered, as I often did, wrestling with thoughts I couldn't voice. Being gay in Elmwood wasn't just taboo. It was a ticket to isolation. Or worse. My dad, a factory worker with calloused hands and unyielding expectations, dreamed of me going pro, marrying my high school sweetheart Emily, and living the American dream he never quite grasped. But Emily was just a cover, a sweet girl I dated to fit in, our kisses feeling as forced as a fumbled pass. The truth gnawed at me during those solitary moments in the locker room, staring at my reflection in the mirror, wondering why my eyes lingered on the guys in the showers a beat too long. And Coach, he'd been my idol since freshman year, pushing me harder than anyone, his pep talks laced with something deeper, like he understood the storm inside me. That night, after his whisper, I stammered, "Coach, what do you mean?" My voice cracked, betraying the fear and flicker of hope. He pulled back slightly, his hand grazing my Shadera touch that sent electricity through my skin. "Alex, you're more than this town sees. Meet me after lights out tonight. We need to talk." Then he was gone, leaving me alone with the echo of his words and the pounding of my pulse. I couldn't shake it. As I finished changing, slipping into jeans and a hoodie, my mind raced. Was this a trap? A confession? Or just my imagination twisting admiration into something forbidden? Elmwood wasn't kind to differences. Whispers about the art teacher who'd left town abruptly after rumors swirled still haunted the halls. But Coach Harlan was untouchable, married once, divorced quietly, no kids, living alone on the edge of town. People said he was dedicated to the game, but I saw the loneliness in his eyes during team dinners. That evening, I lied to my parents about studying at a friend's, my mom's meatloaf sitting like lead in my stomach. Dad clapped me on the back, proud as ever. "Make us proud, son. You're our ticket out." Guilt twisted inside me as I drove my beat-up Chevy to the old field house, the moon casting long shadows over the empty bleachers. Coach was waiting, leaning against his truck, arms crossed. "You came," he said, his voice low and steady. We walked inside, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry bees. He locked the door, and we sat on the worn benches where strategies were born. "Alex, I've seen you struggling. Not with football, with yourself. I know because I've been there." His story poured out like a dam breaking. Growing up in a similar town, pressured into sports and heteronormative life, marrying young to silence the doubts. The divorce came when he couldn't pretend anymore, but he buried it deep, focusing on coaching to fill the void. "I see myself in you," he admitted, his eyes glistening. "The fear, the hiding. But you don't have to face it alone." Tears stung my eyes. For the first time, someone saw meth reel me. We talked for hours. About dreams deferred. The thrill of the game masking deeper longings. As the clock ticked past midnight, his hand found mine. A tentative link that felt like coming home. This could ruin us both, he whispered. But in that moment, the risk felt worth it. The next weeks blurred into a secret dance of stolen glances and late-night meetings. On the field, Coach pushed me harder, our connection fueling my best plays. Off it, we'd meet at his cabin by the lake, sharing stories under starlit skies. His touch was gentle, exploratory, awakening parts of me I'd denied. Our first kiss came during a rainstorm, sheltering in his garage, lightning illuminating the passion we'd both suppressed. But secrets in small towns fester. Rumors started swirling, teammates noticing my distractions, Emily sensing the distance. One night, after a victorious game, she confronted me in the parking lot. "What's going on, Alex? You're different." I broke it off gently, her tears mirroring my inner turmoil. Word spread fast. Dad exploded at home, demanding answers. "You throwing away everything for what? Focus on the game." Coach and I grew closer, our bond a lifeline amid the chaos. He taught me about self-acceptance, sharing books on LGBTQ+ history, stories of trailblazers who'd fought for visibility. In his arms, I felt seen, loved not as the quarterback, but as Alex. Yet, the pressure mounted. A rival coach from another town hinted at improprieties, and the school board sniffed around. One evening, as we lay tangled in sheets at his place, he confessed his fears. "If this comes out, I lose my job. You lose your scholarship." But love, raw and real, pushed us forward. We dreamed of leaving Elmwood after graduation, starting fresh in a city where we could be open. The climax hit during the state championship. Down by 7 in the fourth quarter, rain pounding the turf. I scanned the field. Coach's signal from the sidelines wasn't just strategy, it was trust, belief. I threw the winning pass, the crowd erupting. In the locker room celebration, our eyes met, a silent promise. But victory was short-lived. That night, an anonymous tip to the principal accused Coach of misconduct. Investigations loomed, whispers turning to shouts. Dad confronted me, piecing together the puzzle. Is it true? With him. His face contorted in disbelief and anger. I stood my ground for the first time. Yes, Dad. I love him. And I'm gay. The words hung heavy, shattering the silence. He stormed out, leaving Mom to hug me, her quiet support a balm. The town divided, some rallied for Coach, citing his dedication. Others demanded his head. We faced hearings, scrutiny that tested our resolve. In the end, Coach resigned to protect me, but not before a heartfelt speech at a school assembly. Love isn't a choice, but acceptance is. I've taught you to fight on the field, now fight for what's right in your hearts. We left Elmwood together, heading to Seattle for my college scholarship. Dad came around slowly, a tentative call on moving day signaling hope. In our new life, we built something real, advocating for LGBTQ+ youth in sports, turning pain into purpose. Years later, that whisper remains etched in my soul, the spark that ignited my truth. Love, in all its forms, is worth the fight. And in Coach S. Mark's arms, I found my forever team. The sweat clung to my skin like a second layer as I peeled off my jersey. The locker room's stale air thick with the scent of exertion and liniment. I was alone, or so I thought, until the door swung open without a knock. Coach Harlan stood there, his silhouette backlit by the hallway fluorescence. And in that heartbeat, he stepped inside, shutting us in together. leaning close to murmur words that would unravel my carefully constructed life. I've been watching you. Alex, not just on the field. Those words hit harder than any linebacker. At 18, I was the golden boy of Elmwood High, quarterback with college scouts circling like hawks. But inside, I was a storm of confusion and denial. Elmwood, Ohio, a speck on the map where cornfields stretched endless and traditions ran deep, was no place for a kid questioning his sexuality. My days were scripted: practice, school, dates with Emily to keep up appearances, all while burying the glances I stole at teammates in the showers. Coach Mark Harlan was the town's hero, 35 and chiseled from years of gridiron glory. His divorce a quiet scandal whispered over coffee at the diner. He'd taken our ragtag team to playoffs, his commands barking across the field like thunder. I'd idolized him since freshman tryouts. The way his eyes lit up when I nailed a pass. The pat on the back that lingered just a second too long. But that whisper. It cracked open a door I'd nailed shut. "What do you mean, Coach?" I whispered back, my voice barely above the drip of a distant shower. He didn't retreat. Instead, his hand rested on my shoulder, firm and warm through the chill of my bare skin. "You're special, Alex. Meet me tonight after lights out. We need to talk, really talk." Then he was gone, leaving me to fumble with my clothes, heart racing like I'd just run a 40-yard dash. That night, under a blanket of stars, I snuck out, telling my parents I was cramming for exams. Dad, with his rough hands from the auto plant, beamed pride. "That's my boy focused." Mom kissed my cheek, oblivious to the lie. I drove to the old field house, the gravel crunching under tires, nerves twisting my gut. He was waiting, casual in jeans and a hoodie, but his eyes held storms. We sat on the bleachers, the metal cold through my pants. "Alex, I've seen the way you hold back, not in games, but in life. I know because I did the same." His voice cracked slightly, and he told me his story, growing up in a similar town, marrying young to fit the mold, the marriage crumbling when he couldn't deny his attraction to men anymore. I came out to myself at 30, but hid it. Coaching became my escape. Tears welled as I confessed my own truths, the confusion since puberty, the pretend dates, the fear of disappointing everyone. "I don't know who I am, Coach." He squeezed my hand. "Call me Mark. And you do know you're brave enough to face it." Our conversations became lifelines. Late nights in his truck by the lake, sharing dreams. He spoke of cities where people lived openly, of love without shame. One evening, as fireflies danced, his lips brushed mine, a tentative kiss that ignited fireworks in my chest. "This is risky," he murmured, but I pulled him closer, tasting freedom. Weeks passed in a haze of secrecy. On the field, our synergy was electric. I threw for records, the team buzzing. Off it, stolen moments in his cabin, cooking dinners, watching old games, bodies entwining in ways that felt right. Mark taught me self-love, sharing stories of Stonewall, Pride March's history I'd never learned in school. But cracks appeared. Emily noticed my distance. Her eyes hurt during lunch. "Are you okay, Alex?" I nodded, guilt heavy. Teammates joked about my mystery girl, unaware the mystery was Mark. Then, a close call. Dad almost caught a text, his brow furrowing. "Who's this Mark guy?" "Coach." The tension built like a storm. During a away game in Cleveland, we risked a hotel room share, whispers turning to passion. "I love you," he said in the dark, words that terrified and thrilled me. Back home, rumors simmered. A janitor saw us talking late. Tongues wagged. One night, after practice, Mark pulled me aside. "We have to be careful." The school board is conservative. They'd fire me in a heartbeat. I nodded, but inside, resentment grew at a world that forced us to hide. The breaking point came mid-season. Emily confronted me in the parking lot, tears streaming. Is there someone else? I admitted, yes, but it's complicated. She stormed off, and by morning, whispers filled the halls. Dad grilled me at dinner. What's this about you and Emily breaking up? You throwing away your future? I evaded, but the noose tightened. Mark and I met less. Paranoia setting in. Yet, love persisted in notes slipped into lockers, glances across the field. He became my anchor, reminding me of the value in authenticity. As playoffs loomed, I channeled the emotions into the game, leading us to victories. But the secret weighed heavy, a constant reminder of society's chains. The championship game arrived like a reckoning. The stadium packed with Elmwood faithful under floodlights that turned night to day. Rain slicked the field, turning it into a mud pit. But adrenaline surged through me as I called the huddle. Down by 10 in the third quarter, I locked eyes with Mark on the sidelines as not a silent, I believe in you, laced with the love we couldn't show. I threw a bomb, connecting for a touchdown, the crowd roaring. But in the locker room at halftime, tension crackled. Teammate Jake, my best friend, pulled me aside. Dude, what's up with you and coach? People are talking. My stomach dropped. Nothing, man. Focus on the game. He eyed me suspiciously, but we pushed on. We won by a field goal. Heroes in the moment. Post-game, amid high fives, Mark's hand brushed mine in the chaos or risk that sent shivers. That night, celebration turned sour. An anonymous email to the principal accused Mark of inappropriate conduct with a student. By morning, the school buzzed with scandal. I raced to his house, finding him packing. They're investigating. I have to go before it blows up. Tears streamed as I begged. Don't leave me. He held me. This is to protect you, Alex. Your future. But I wouldn't let go. We faced the board together, lawyers involved. Testimonies poured into inmates defending Mark's character, others fueling the fire with baseless claims. Dad exploded when he learned. My son. With a man. This town's laughing at us. Mom mediated, her quiet strength shining. He's our boy, Tom. Love him. The hearings dragged, exposing our relationship. Mark lost his job. The town split, progressives rallying with signs, conservatives decrying moral decay. In the eye of the storm, our bond deepened. Late nights, we planned escape, Seattle, where I'd play college ball, Mark coaching youth leagues. Graduation came amid whispers. I walked the stage, diploma in hand, eyes on Mark in the crowd. Dad approached afterward, stiff but sincere. I don't understand, but I don't want to lose you. A crack in the armor. We drove west, the heartland giving way to mountains. In Seattle, we found community pride events, support groups. Mark started a nonprofit for LGBTQ plus athletes, turning pain into advocacy. I came out publicly in college, inspiring teammates. Years on, that whisper echoes as a turning point. Love triumphed over fear, teaching that authenticity is the greatest victory. In Mark's embrace, I found not just a partner, but a life of meaning. The days after the whisper felt like walking on a tightrope, every glance in the hallway charged with unspoken meaning. I threw myself into practice, my throw sharper, fueled by the secret fire Mark had ignited. After school, I'd linger, pretending to review plays, until the building emptied. Then, his office door would crack open, and we'd talk, about everything from football strategies to the ache of hiding who we are. One afternoon, as rain pattered against the windows, he shared a photo album from his college days. This was me, Alex, trying to be the guy everyone expected. Pictures of a younger Mark, arm around a girlfriend, but his eyes distant. I married her to prove something to myself. It didn't work. I opened up too, about the middle school crushes on boys I'd dismissed as admiration, the porn I'd deleted in panic. His hand covered mine. You're not alone anymore. That touch led to our first real embrace. His arms strong around me, scent of aftershave and leather. It was innocent then, but the spark was there. Our meetings moved off campus. A hike in the state park, leaves crunching underfoot, where he kissed my forehead. This is new for me too, being open, even in secret. Laughter came easy, stories flowing. He told of his first love, a teammate in college, cut short by fear. Don't let that be us. Romance blossomed slowly. A picnic by the lake, sandwiches and beer he snuck for me. As sunset painted the water orange, his lips met mine, soft, tentative, then deepening with years of pent-up desire. God, Alex, you make me feel alive. My body responded, hands exploring, clothes shedding in the grass. It was my first time, gentle and overwhelming, his whispers guiding me through the vulnerability. After, lying naked under stars, he traced my scars from old injuries. You're beautiful. Tears fell, relief, joy, fear. What if someone finds out? He held me. We'll face it together. School life became a facade. Emily pressed for answers, her friends gossiping. I broke it off kindly. It's not you, it's me. She cried, but nodded. Teammates noticed my glow, joking about a secret girlfriend. Jake nudged me. Spill, man. I laughed it off, but paranoia grew. Mark and I set rules, no texts. Meet only at night. Vary locations. His cabin became our sanctuary, wood stove crackling, records playing. We'd cook, dance, make love. He taught me about consent, emotions, the history of gay rights. Stonewall wasn't just a riot, it was a stand for us. But K-drama crept in. A close call when a neighbor saw my car at his place. Be careful, he warned. Dad's suspicions rose. He questioned my late nights. You're acting strange, son. Drugs. I denied, guilt gnawing. The team hit a losing streak, pressure mounting. During a game, I fumbled, mind on Mark. He pulled me aside post-loss. Focus, Alex. This is your ticket out. Anger flared. Out to what? Hiding forever. Our first fight, voices raised, ending in passionate reconciliation. As winter set in, snow blanketing Elmwood, our love deepened amid isolation. Christmas break, families oblivious. We exchanged gifts, a jersey for him, a book on LGBTQ plus athletes for me. For our future, he said. Yet, the town's undercurrents stirred. A local pastor preached against sins of the flesh. Eyes on the school. We knew the clock was ticking. Spring brought thaw and turmoil. Playoffs approached. Scouts calling. I committed to University of Washington. Dreams of pro ball alive. But the secret weighed, affecting my game. During practice, I missed throws, mind wandering to Mark's touch. One evening, at his cabin, we argued again. You're distant on the field, he said. It's because of us. I snapped. No, it's because we can't be us. He pulled me close. Patience, Alex. After graduation, we leave. But patience fractured. Jake confronted me after practice. I saw you leaving Coach's house. What's going on? I lied. Just extra training. He didn't buy it. Eyes narrowing. Emily, hurt, spread rumors, nothing specific, but enough to fuel whispers. The principal called Mark in for a routine check. He played cool, but sweat beaded. They're watching, he told me. Family tensions escalated. Dad pushed for Emily reconciliation. She's good for you. Dinner turned ugly when I refused. What's wrong with you? He yelled. Mom intervened. Let him be. Later, she asked softly, Are you okay, sweetie? I wanted to confess, but fear held me back. Mark and I found solace in intimacy. A weekend getaway to a cabin in the woods. No signals, just us. Hikes, lovemaking by the fire, talks of Seattle and coaching, me studying. We'll marry when it's safe, he dreamed. It felt possible. Back home, disaster struck. A teammate's parent overheard Jake's suspicions, reported to the board. Investigation launched quietly. Mark was suspended pending review. Misconduct allegations, the letter said. I panicked, confronting Jake. You ratted. He denied. I was worried. Man. Betrayal stung. Mark holed up, depressed. I snuck over. Fight this. He shook his head. For what? To drag you down. Our love turned desperate. Nights of tears and passion. The town polarized. Supportive letters arrived. Hate mail too. Dad learned from gossip. Tell me it's not true. I admitted. I'm gay, Dad. And I love him. He punched the wall. Stormed out. Mom hugged me. I suspected. I love you. Hearings began. Lawyers grilling. Mark testified, denying impropriety, but not our love. He's 18, consenting adult. Scandal exploded. Media picking up. Amid chaos, our bond strengthened. Secret meetings. Vows of forever. This is our Stonewall, he said. As the verdict loomed, I spoke at a town meeting. Love isn't wrong. Applause mixed with boos. The board cleared him of misconduct but asked resignation. He agreed. For peace. We packed for Seattle. Dad showing up with boxes. I'm trying. Son. Healing began. In the city, freedom bloomed. Pride parades. Open kisses. Mark's nonprofit thrived, helping kids like me. That whisper. It led to a life of truth, proving love conquers. The school boardroom was a sterile cage. Fluorescent lights buzzing like accusations. I sat in the back, heart hammering, as Mark took the stand. The allegations are false, he stated, voice steady. Alex is an adult. Our relationship is private. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Parents, teachers, locals with agendas. The chairman, a stern man with a Bible on his desk, pressed. But as coach, you have power over students. Mark countered. I have integrity. This is about prejudice, not policy. Outside, protesters clashed rainbow flags versus signs reading, Protect our kids. I slipped out, meeting Mark later at a motel on the outskirts. It's bad, he said, collapsing into my arms. We made love slowly, each touch a defiance. Back home, Dad's silence was deafening. He worked longer hours, avoiding eyes. Mom cooked my favorites, her way of support. Give him time, she advised. Teammates divided. Some shunned me. Jake apologized. I didn't mean for this. We reconciled over beers, an alcoholic for me, him confessing his own doubts. Maybe I'm bi, Our friendship deepened. Mark and I delved into emotions. Nights of talking therapy style. My divorce was because I couldn't love her that way. He shared. I opened about bullying in middle school. Called fag for being artsy before football. Romance persisted in snippets. A drive-in movie. Hands linked in the dark. You're my hero, I whispered. He smiled. No, you saved me from loneliness. The investigation dragged. Witnesses called. Emily testified neutrally. Alex is good. Coach too. But a conservative parent ranted about grooming. Stress took toll. Mark lost weight. I had nightmares. But love anchored us. A surprise picnic in a park, where he proposed with a ring. When you're ready. Tears flowed. Graduation neared. Valedictorian speech looming. I wrote about acceptance, hinting at my story. In Elmwood, we teach teamwork extended to life. The board decided, no charges. But Mark resigned. Bitter victory. Packing day. Dad helped load the truck. Be safe. He grunted. A hug following. Progress. Seattle welcomed U's apartment with views. New jobs. I trained for college football. Mark coached LGBTQ plus youth. Community embraced us. Therapy helped heal wounds. We married quietly. Rings symbolizing triumph. Looking back, the whisper was the catalyst for a life of authenticity, showing that from darkness comes light. The Space Needle pierced the skyline as we drove into Seattle, rain slicking the streets like tears of relief. Our apartment was small, but ours boxes stacked, laughter echoing as we unpacked. Home, Mark said, pulling me into a kiss without fear of prying eyes. College started. University of Washington Huskies welcoming me as quarterback prospect. Teammates were diverse, some openly gay. I came out early. Their support overwhelming. Play ball. Man who cares who you love. Practices were grueling, but Mark's advice via calls kept me sharp. He landed a job coaching at a community center for at-risk youth, focusing on LGBTQ plus kids. This is purpose. He beamed, sharing stories of teens finding strength. Our life settled into rhythm. Mornings jogging along Puget Sound. Evenings cooking. Weekends exploring Pike Place Market. Ferry rides. Intimacy deepened. No longer rushed lazy Sundays in bed. Bodies and souls entwined. But echoes of Elmwood lingered. Calls home, Mom chatty. Dad gruff, but improving. How's the team? He'd ask, avoiding personal. Challenges arose. College pressures classes. Games. Social life. I partied. Temptation from guys flirting. Mark trusted, but jealousy flickered. One night, after a win, I confessed a kiss with a classmate. I'm sorry. He forgave. We're human. Communicate. We grew. Therapy helping. Mark dealt with his past. I with identity. Advocacy became passion. We spoke at events, sharing our story. From small-town secrecy to open love. Mark said. Inspiring others. Holidays. Family visited. Dad saw our life. Softened. Proud of you, son. Years passed. Careers flourishing. I went pro briefly, then coach with Mark. Our nonprofit expanded, saving lives. The whisper. A reminder that vulnerability leads to strength. Love to humanity. As seasons cycled in Seattle, our bond solidified. We adopted a dog, Max. Runs becoming family affairs. Mark proposed formally on a hike, ring glinting in sunlight. Marry me, Alex. Yes, through tears. Wedding planning was joy small ceremony on the beach. Friends from both worlds. Teammates attended. Dad walked me down the aisle. Eyes misty. Happy for you. Honeymoon in Hawaii. Beaches and passion. Forever. We vowed. Back. Life through curves. Mark's health scary, a heart murmur from stress. Hospital nights. Holding hands. Don't leave me. I begged. He recovered, but it reminded fragility. I retired from playing after injury, joining the nonprofit full-time. We mentored kids, one boy reminding me of young self. You can be out and strong, I told him. Family expanded surrogacy discussions, dreaming of kids. Elmwood visits healed old wounds. Old teammates greeted warmly. Town evolved slightly. Conflicts, media attention on our story. Hate mail arriving. But support outweighed, turning us into advocates. In quiet moments, Mark whispered, still watching you, not just anywhere. Laughter. Love eternal. The journey taught resilience. Humanity in acceptance. Our nonprofit, Field of Dreams, grew, offering safe spaces for LGBTQ plus athletes. Workshops, camp kids sharing stories, finding community. One girl, transgender, said, "You saved me." Tears all around. I wrote a book, Whispers on the Field, detailing our tale. Bestseller. Tours following. Mark by my side. Proud. Personal growth. Dad fully accepted. Visiting often. Grandpa someday. He joked. Challenges. Political backlash. Laws threatening rights. We lobbied. Marched in D.C. Home life. Blissful adopted twins. Boy and girl. Filling our house with chaos and joy. Bedtime stories of bravery. Aging gracefully. Mark's hair graying. My injuries aching. But love unwavering. Reflecting. The whisper was destiny's call, leading to a life of impact. Decades later, at a reunion in Elmwood, we stood hand in hand. The field named after Mark. Kids playing freely. Our family complete. Grandkids asking stories. Tell about the whisper, Grandpa. It was a moment that sparked change, proving love's power to transform, heal, inspire. In a world still fighting, our tale reminds true. Love fiercely. Humanity prevails. The end came peacefully. Mark in my arms, whispering, I love you. His legacy lives. In me. Our work. The lives touched. That whisper. I'll never forget, it gave me everything.